Okay, let's continue. We're in the process of doing the purchases. So if you go and view our design, so supply ID, product ID, quantity, unit price, purchase date, and then created at and things like that. So when you edit, it's going to appear like that. I'm going to move the purchase date to the top, and then just set up a few things. So I'm going to move it to so that it's up here, and then I'm going to set it to be 1. And then I'm going to move this one down. Supplier, and then this is going to be a date picker. Okay, so the purchase date, we have a supplier, estimate 2. We have a product setting at 3, and then at 4 is the quantity at 4.2, and then created at is at 5.1. And then what we need to do here is to have updated at. So let's do that. Updated at. This is going to be just going to be 5.2. Okay. Let's click on apply. Let's go and view our design. So we still have the ID here, purchase price, purchase date, and things. Let's do this. Purchase date is we're going to select which date it was purchased on. Then the supplier, we need to have drop downs here so that we can choose the supplier name. So the price for now looks good. Let's do some few steps. Simple enabled. So in relation to this, what is required? Not no quantity, yeah. So in most of the cases, most of these are not going to be required because you need them to be specified. Supplier, product ID, quantity, new price, created at. So what we can do is to also be able to specify the default values. Purchase date, we can set it to be default date. Quantity, usually there's 1. There must be some kind of unit price. Usually this will be now also, and this will also be some kind of now. Then for column type, when we get to display these things, the quantity, usually let's make it a value that will show as thousands. Unit price, we'll make it show as money. Also, we need a way of column total in here, which means that we can column total quantity, we can column total unit price. So that's kind of column visible, the item is not visible. Purchase price, this must not be visible. And then what we need to do, we need to kind of like change, do the column total, the column visible. we need to change this here to a select group because we want to select from a list of suppliers, and here we want to select from a list of service providers, products and service providers. Okay, so if you go and view our design, so we purchase date, supply ID, product ID, quantity, and unit price. Yeah, so we kind of need a total here because quantity times unit price is supposed to be total amount, you know. So what we need to do, we can add another column here. It will be total amount at 5. So we'll use this to give a text box. Total amount. Let's call it total amount. So basically says that we are at data type. We don't necessarily need to add this in the database, but anyway, for the sake of progress, let's just add it. It's required, not necessarily because it's a computed column. So it's going to be total amount. Let's make it to be, let's make this down. Let's make this down also. So total amount, let's make it to be 6. Then this one is 7. And this one is a 7. 5.2. Okay, so for the price, total amount at 5.1, 6.1, 6.2. Okay, let's go and preview. So as you can see here, we are designing our user interface once we are designing our backend database schema. So we have this here. So we want to allow addition of the particular products here. So what we need to do is to go back and say allow add. So we're going to go to this particular column, allow add, because we want to give the functionality to allow the addition of entries here. And then we change this to supply name. We change this to product name. So these here, the information that is going to be here is going to be sourced from let's just do foreign. So what I'm doing is they were searching for anything that is related to foreign. So the supplier is coming from suppliers. So we click there. We've already defined the supplier fields. So the value K, the value that is going to be displayed is that. So click there. And then for the product, we need to do the same thing. Search for foreign. The product is coming from products. So click there to search for the fields. So we also need the ID here. We also need the name here. So basically what we've done now is to establish this relationship here. So that's why we've done this. So if we extend this foreign foreign fields, foreign display, it shows you that for this supplier ID, the foreign table is suppliers, the foreign field it is that key is ID, the name, and then products, there it is. Now if we go and view our design, now our design has changed. The supplier name is there, product name is there, the quantity, unit price. Now we just need the total there. And then if we will be clicking add here. Now you see here there's add here, which basically means that when we are capturing a purchase of a product, if a supplier is not available in our list, you can add them. Just to add the name, and then we can address the other information parts later. So our now default value is supposed to be 0. So now total amount default value is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. This is a double, and this will show as money on our the text box, but on our columns in the table is going to show as money. Okay, so it's basically the column visible for total amount, column visible for total amount. There it is. So table design, our table show purchase price, supply name, product name, quantity, unit price, total amount, which is supposed to be quantity times that. Then we can edit. And then when we click on add, so this is what will appear for the purchase that we're going to be making. Same thing that we're going to do with the other table. The other table is sales. So the customer name and all that. So basically means that we need to have some kind of a table for customers, which we can base it from suppliers. So let's create a customers table that is going to be like suppliers. So we don't have any cloning mechanisms here, but what we can do is to create functionality where we can just clone the whole structure. For now, let's pause here. We're going to continue doing we're going to do sales, and then we're going to do what is this? Customer name. Yeah, but there's no relationship to customers here. The customer name. Okay. Look, if we don't have anything here in relation to customers, we can just exclude it, don't add. But in some of the cases, you might want to keep a record of your customers and things. Then you will have to create a link between the sales and the customers that you might have. So it might just be another extension. All right. So far what I've done is to create suppliers, purchases, and products. Perhaps just for the sake of progress, let's do the sales. So this is a single sale, this is a multiple sales, and then we're going to use a table for this too, and a model. Let's click apply. So let's go and define the various fields that are going to be there for the sales, because we don't have table to copy here. So product ID, customer name, ID. So let's just define the columns that we need. So we need the ID, we need the product ID, Actually, it's just called product name because it's going to be the product. Customer name. We have the quantity that they are buying. What else is there? The unit price. And then we add the sale date, and then the product ID, and the product. So already done this, sorry. So you can take this and move it forward. The sale date, the product that was sold, who was it sold to? But what you can do is to take this and the sale date, it was sold to who, what was sold, how much was the quantity, how much was the unit price, what was the total amount. Yeah. Okay, so we click on that, the visible column type. So our ID is not visible. The sale date is required, customer name is required, the product name, the quantity, and the unit price, for example. And then the sale date, we're going to make it a date picker. And then on the table is going to appear as a date. And then this is one. Customer name, yeah, this will be entered by the person. And then the product name, this is a drop down. So based on the products that we have, 3, we'll have to establish a relationship there with the products. The quantity, default value, the quantity is 1, the unit price is 1.00. When we code this thing, you can make sure that when you select a product, then it picks up the unit price from the table. So we have 1 there, then we have 2, then we have 3, then we have 4 and 5. 4, 2, then the total amount is at 5. So this is also required. Column visibility, we can check, but here all the columns are visible except for that. And then product name, we establish a relationship here. Foreign. And then here we're doing products. Because of selling products, the ID of the products, and the name of the product. And then what we also want to do here, you need to use some parts of the record. So what we need to do is on the product name, you say we want to read the whole record from the database because we're going to feed it with the unit price. So let's go and see how our design looks like. If we go there, so our table, we have the sale price, customer name, product name, quantity, unit price, and total amount, which is fine. And then when we click on add, this is what will appear. We've sold the product on a particular date to this particular customer. The customer name, yeah, it looks like it will be typed, but we can update that for the customer name to be selected from the database, and then the product name and things like that. So far, things are going very well. I think what is not showing here is created, add, and updated. We can also add them in relation to this particular field. Let's just scroll down and see what happens next year. So we have sales, we have products, we have suppliers. Let's see. Okay, products, suppliers, purchases, sales, and reports. Okay, reports and so. Okay, so we're still following the structure that is being discussed in this ChatGPT. So the reports you see here, there's going to be low stock, there's going to be a sales summary. That's interesting. You said change in products, supply handlers, utilities. Let's see what else is there. Okay. Look in terms of the reporting a little bit later. But I mean, for now, we're just dealing with the design, so we're not doing the functionality per se. We're just designing our application user interface, but starting with database first approach, which it gives us what is it that we want. Okay. We do have sales, we do have products, we do have suppliers. So let's do this. Let's just download this because I mean this is being stored on the internet browser memory, and it's so volatile it can just be deleted. So we'll continue where we at tomorrow.